Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a really wild story from World War II. It's all about a nation caught between a civil war and a foreign invasion, and a truce between two guys who absolutely hated each other, born out of pure desperation. So, let's just start with this question, because it really gets to the heart of the insane situation China was in during the late 1930s. See, the rest of the world was gearing up for this huge global war, but China? China was already tearing itself apart from the inside out.
To really get what's going on, you've got to understand that long before World War II kicked off, China was already deep in its own brutal conflict, a full-blown civil war for the very soul of the country.
And at the center of it all were these two major players. On one side, you've got Chiang Kai-shek. He's the nationalist leader of China, and he's basically trying to keep his government in power. And on the other side, you've got Mao Zedong, the leader of the communist rebels, whose entire mission is to kick Chiang out.
I mean, these guys had completely different ideas for what China should be. They were locked in this vicious civil war, and it really looked like it was only going to end when one of them was gone for good.
But then, something happens. An outside threat shows up that changes the entire game. And suddenly, these two bitter enemies have to think about something bigger than their own fight.
And that threat was Japan. Imperial Japan launches a massive, all-out invasion of China. All of a sudden, fighting over who controls the country doesn't matter as much as, well, saving the country. This new danger from outside was so huge it just dwarfed their internal squabbles.
You know that old saying, right? The enemy of my enemy is my friend? Well, for Chiang and Mao, this wasn't just some clever phrase. It was a real life-or-death question. Should they, could they, possibly team up to fight off an invader that wanted to wipe them both out?
So what do? What happens when two people who want nothing more than to destroy each other are faced with a common enemy? You get one of the strangest, most fragile alliances you can imagine.
Now, let's be super clear here. This was not a peace treaty. They didn't shake hands and become pals. Nope. What they agreed to was a truce. It was like hitting the pause button on their own wars so they could deal with the giant immediate problem of the Japanese invasion.
And this truce just changed the whole dynamic. So step one, the civil war is on hold. Step two, they suddenly have the same goal, push Japan out of China. And step three, this brings in the rest of the world, because Chiang Kai-shek's government was the one officially recognized by the US and its allies.
For a short but incredibly important time in history, their interests perfectly lined up on this one thing. Even though they didn't trust each other one bit, both the nationalists and the communists played a part in helping to defeat Japan.
But, and this is a huge but, this was an alliance of convenience, not friendship. The Civil War never really stopped. It just went quiet. It was simmering right below the surface, just waiting for a chance to boil over again.
You can just feel the tension, right? Even while Chiang is an ally of the US fighting Japan, his #1 priority is still protecting his own government. And Mao? He's playing the long game, using the truce to quietly build up his forces, getting ready for the day he can restart his rebellion.
So yeah, the key thing to remember is that this alliance didn't actually fix anything between them. It was just a timeout in a much, much longer fight. The real conflict was always there, just on hold.
So what's the bottom line here? It's that a shared enemy can force even the worst rivals to work together for a little while. Chiang led the official government, but Mao cleverly used the pause to get stronger. And most importantly, their rivalry, it was never, ever resolved. Which brings us to one last fascinating question. After Japan was finally defeated, after that common enemy was gone, what was left? You had two powerful, battle-tested rivals staring each other down again. The pause button was off, and the stage was set for the final, bloody chapter of their own war to begin.